So hello everybody, my name is Jeff Siegel and this is going to be your brain and body break, a stretching session for your day, or in this case perhaps for your morning, to help enliven and wake up your body. So we'll be going through about 25 minutes of some stretches, some gentle mindful movement, and everything that I offer is a description, not a prescription. And the most important thing that you can do through all of this is just tune in and listen to your body, get a little bit more familiar with the sensations and sort of what sort of signals it's giving you. And I trust you to have the wisdom to take care of your body in the best way that is going to suit your needs. So if you have any injuries or chronic conditions, please do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. And if any position doesn't quite feel right for you, you can certainly type it into the chat box and let me know, and I can try to help you through that. And so with all of this, really the only thing you need is a willingness and a body. And my guess is that both of those things are true if you are here right now. And perhaps just a little bit of space, just so if you stick out your arms, you won't knock into anything or break something or break yourself. Most of these movements can be done sitting down, although I'll be demoing them standing up. So if you are ready and you have the space, I'm going to have you just stand on up. And just take one moment, just adjusting your posture, thinking about creating some length in your body as if somebody was grabbing your head and gently lifting you upwards. You can take a deep breath in, feeling that lengthening. And then as you exhale, just feel your weight settle down into the floor. Again, breathing in and up and just letting the weight settle down. So we're going to start this stretching session with one of my sort of favorite tools, which is a nice, good face massage. So it's going to start like this. Take your hands, placing them together. And then I want you just to begin to rub your hands. Right? Just as if you were trying to start a fire by rubbing two sticks together. You want to generate a little bit of heat, a little bit of friction. So you're rubbing your hands together, right? No judgments about whether you need some hand moisturizer or whatever is going on with your skin. Right? Feel that contact of your hands, maybe going a little bit faster. Right? Enjoy that sort of noise, and when you begin to feel like a little bit of warmth generating in your palms, then you're just gonna let it go. And I want you just to take your hands and just gently kind of placing them on the side of your face, maybe touching your temples, your cheeks, and then taking 3 fingers and just beginning to just give your head a little bit of a massage. So working small circles into the outside of your forehead. Okay. And you can kind of explore your way around your face, maybe coming up into the top of your forehead, down, big strokes, the side of your cheek. And then one of my favorite places is this area right underneath the ear. Right? And you can get back into the jaw. And sometimes I'll just take 1 or 2 fingers and just work behind the jaw or your thumb. And again, so we often don't think about the jaw as an area holding a lot of tension, yet it's really easily to unconsciously clench or even hold our breath, especially when we're spending a lot of time in front of screens. Just giving yourself a nice little face massage, waking up all the little muscles, right? You actually have tons of muscles around your eyes and in your cheeks. So waking that up. And then from there, we'll just come into the rest of the body with a quick little pat. So I like to do it like this, but I just kind of gently tap. It's a gentle little pat, and you kind of pat your arms. And this is sort of like a little wake up, and we're just going to work our way down the body, giving yourself a nice little touch, right? Touch and physical contact is something that the body needs. And in this day and age of social distancing and other things, like it can be really hard. We're all a little bit touch deprived. So you're sort of waking up your body, right? And if you feel super awkward doing this, it's okay. You don't have to. Nobody's watching. Feel free to just stretch or stand or breathe. All right? But if you want to get a little bit playful, all right, and just let go of any sort of social norms that say that you shouldn't give your body a nice little pat. Hey, it's your body, all right? Nobody else's. But that also means it's your responsibility to take care of it. You're just going to pat yourself down your legs. You're just going to cover all this different surface area, kind of waking up all the different nerve endings. And you have, right, your nervous system extending through the tissues all the way into your body. If you can reach down to your feet, you want to give your feet a little tap. If you got shoes on, don't worry about it. So kind of working yourself quickly back up the body. If there's any area that's left uncovered, I know it's kind of hard to reach that upper back area, so maybe you can't quite get everything, and that is totally fine. All right, and then just sort of finishing with a little tap on the head. And then reach the arms up, breathe in, and then exhale, let the arms come down. And taking a moment now to check in and notice, maybe there's a little bit more sense of aliveness, there's a little tingling or just greater awareness that you've sort of generated through that deliberate contact and touch with your body. So I want to go kind of working our way from the top down, so beginning with some head and neck rolls, one of my favorite moves that I'm going to encourage you to do throughout your day. So just beginning standing nice and tall, tucking your chin, and then beginning to roll your head up one side of your neck, and then allowing it to fall down the other side. And then as you're doing this, breathing in as you lift your head up and back, breathing out as you allow your head to drop back down to center. And so all of these at one level are just sort of very basic stretches, but when you incorporate the breathing, we add in another powerful element to both help synchronize and relax your nervous system, especially with that deliberate, slow exhale. So remember, there's no rush to get through any of this, right? It is about the process and ultimately doing something in service of taking care of your body, and that hopefully feels good. But you know, there might be some things that don't feel great. You might reach an area and you're like, I don't really like how that feels. See if you can stay with it, be gentle. It's all about coming into the body with kindness and curiosity. So one more head roll. Again, don't worry about how you look. Feel free to close your eyes, whatever's going to help you tune into your body, get a little bit more acquainted, a little bit more comfortable. And then coming back to neutral, noticing the release or the kind of echoing of energy in your neck. And we're going to come into the shoulders with some similar rolls. So I like to breathe in, roll the shoulders forward and up, and then squeeze them together and then let them drop down my back. So shoulders rising up towards your ears as you breathe in, and then shoulders dropping down to your back as you exhale. And really see if you can focus all of your attention on what's going on in that shoulder, in your scapula, and just letting the arms be nice and loose. They're coming along for the ride. Breathing in and out. You can try switching directions, going the other way. And with all of these, right, you're in control of how deep, how much sensation you want to create. I like to try to really exaggerate it. So each repetition, each time I come into the movement, I'm exploring maybe a little bit further, a little bit deeper, sort of trying to figure out what's right there at that edge of how I can move, right? And a lot of this is about regaining our mobility so we can have a greater range of motion to move through as we go about our day. And then just relaxing, letting the shoulders come down. Right. Next movement, I'm gonna have you take your hands and just kind of placing them up gently behind your head. Right? And so on this one, what you're gonna do is you're gonna exhale and then begin to curl forward, try to touch your elbows together right in front of your chest. And then inhale, reverse it, open your chest, pull your elbows back, let your head look up a little bit. And just alternating between these two positions, exhaling, curling forward. Inhaling, elbows squeeze back, chest open. And just cycling in and out of this position. We'll like to do every movement about 8 to 10 times. There's no magic number. It really depends on how much time you have, right? And with this thing, if you can't get your elbows to touch, no worries, right? Again, this isn't about doing it in a particular way that looks like me. It's about doing it in a way that's going to work for your body. So just keep going through here. And feeling that openness, following the breath. And as you're doing this, you might discover that your right shoulder has a different story than your left shoulder. And this is common because we are all asymmetric in some way. And so just being aware of that so we can work on generating balance is really helpful. So just relaxing that movement. We'll come into one more with the hands in this position. I actually like to slide them down even a little bit further as long as I just sort of touch the back of my neck. All right. And then from there, we're going to go into a little bit of a side bend. So I'm going to have you exhale, pull one elbow down to the floor, the other one rises up. And then inhale back up to the top. And then exhale the other direction. And inhale back up to the top. And just alternating here, right? Shoulders shifting to the left, hips shifting in the opposite direction. Just focusing on pointing one elbow up or one elbow down, right? And don't force anything, right? So all of these motions, especially when we're doing some sort of spine bending or twisting, it's good to start small, slowly build up, especially if you have any pre-existing spinal or disc issues or conditions. Please take care and be careful. So maybe one more of each side of these side twists. And then when you're ready, coming back up to standing, and I'm going to have you take your arms out to the side. From here, turn your palms up. So try to point your thumbs to the back wall. And then I want you to try to open your chest as far as you can, right? So if possible, can you bring your hands even behind the plane of your body? Don't worry about how far you can get. Wherever you your body stops, that's it. That's what we're working with today. All right, inhale. And then exhale, I want you to just cross your arms. You can even give yourself a little squeeze. And then inhale, open back up to that same position. Exhale, arms cross. And just coming in and out of this nice big chest opener. Right. At any point, remember that usually the best thing you can do is slow down. It'll help you notice more. It'll help you move more mindfully. And it will often prevent you from going a little bit too far, too fast, and potentially injuring your tissue. So each time you open those arms, see if you can perhaps stretch them back a tiny bit further. And release, right? And if you notice a lot of tension or weird stuff starting to build up, right, always back off. Any point where it becomes too much, just come back to a place of comfort. Right? Stretching is all about sort of tiptoeing our way into that place of productive discomfort, but not going so far that we snap, right? Stretch, but don't snap. And last one, just letting the arms relax. Next move, we're going to take the arms, all right, and we're going to go back. So I'm going to have you shift your arms back behind you. Right? You can even try touching them together if you want. And then breathing in, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, arms swing back. Inhale, arms come up. And keep going here. Exhale, arms come back. Now what I like to do on this one, as I reach the arms overhead, I rise up onto my toes, lifting the heels off the ground, and then kind of exhaling, dropping back down. We get the ankles involved here. All right, at the top of this motion, as if you are going to touch the ceiling and letting it go. I find that the more I can make my breath really audible, the easier it is to kind of drop into that nice relaxation, following the breath and that kind of ocean sound. And you might notice, right, at the top or the bottom of this motion, there's a little bit of tension, right? I'm using some muscles here to really try to squeeze my arms back. And at the top, I'm using my muscles here to try to reach and lengthen, and that's okay. So we want to find that little squeeze, and then we want to let it go. So one more time. And then we're going to take that similar arm movement, but we're going to add the hips in. So this time, when the arms swing back behind you, I want you to push your butt backwards and let your chest drop down to the floor, trying to keep a relatively neutral spine as you do this. And then breathe in, reach back up. You can rise onto those toes. So exhale, chest drops, arms swing back. Inhale, rise on up. Keep going here. You can really begin to feel that energy moving through your body as you breathe, or as you breathe in, there's this sort of upward energy lifting you. And as you exhale, you can feel that grounding settling into your legs, feel your feet pushing into the floor, whole body gets a little bit lower. Right, my knees are staying soft as I do this, so I'm not locking out, but I am trying to maybe get a nice little stretch down the back side as I drop into this position. So keep going here. Good, and if there's any sort of snap, crackle, pops along the way, I should say usually that is normal and fine. Unless there's any real sharp pain associated with it, I wouldn't worry about it. It's a sign of your body and joints just moving in ways that they haven't been moved in a little while. So let's go one more time with that sweeping arm motion. And then on the next one, I want you to drop forward, and this time I want you to just let the arms come all the way down, and we're just gonna go into a nice forward fold. I'm just gonna allow my back to round as much as feels comfortable and natural. And the most important thing here is I want you to relax your head. So let your head drop. And then from there, even shaking your head back and forth a little bit, nodding, or taking a little bit of a side to side. And as you exhale in this position, see if you can get down perhaps an inch or two deeper. I know it can be a little bit hard to breathe when you're folded over, or maybe the blood is rushing to your head. All right. So if at any point you need to come back up, come back up. We'll be here for maybe another 20 seconds. All right. The other thing that I find really nice is grabbing your elbows. So sometimes called ragdoll position, where you're down here and then letting your upper body get really heavy. You can even do a little bit of a side-to-side sway. Any little micro movements and weight shifts that feel good for you today, go for it. And then slowly kind of rising back up, coming back up to standing. Okay. Hands on the hips. We're gonna go into some hip circles. So just pushing our hips around, painting a nice big circular motion. Go really slow and see if you can get as big and as wide and as clean of a circle as possible. And if at any point in this motion you notice some snagging, catching, discomfort, right, it's a sign that maybe something's going on in your hip socket. And just something that you can pay attention to so you can take care of it. So I'm gonna now work with the breath. So I'm gonna breathe in as I come around half the circle, and I'm gonna breathe out as I go back. And then I like to shift direction. So breathing in and breathing out. And then there's kind of two ways you can do this. One is staying very vertical and just sort of working in this plane. The other one is allowing your torso to drop forward a little bit. All right. So as I kind of shift my hips back, I allow my chest to drop, and then kind of come back to standing at the top. And then as I shift my hips back behind me, chest dropping. So you can play around with both of these and just notice which one feels better for you. Breathing in, moving. You know, and if you do feel like speeding it up and you want to get a little more rhythm into it, great. You know, make this your own. This is your time with your body. This is your stretch sessions. All right, I'm just sort of offering you some starting points. Take it, make it your own, enjoy it. And then when you feel ready, coming back to standing, we're gonna go into some twists with the arms. All right, so I say with the arms, but really let's start with the shoulders. So you can kind of twist your shoulders one way, all right, and then twist it back the other way. And then guess what? Again, the arms just sort of come along for a ride. So I like to start nice and small, and then slowly growing this motion from twisting through your upper back to now twisting through your hips. Now, depending on how much spine mobility you have, right, you might always be twisting through your hips. That's okay. And you can feel that twist even down into your knees, all the way down into your feet. And so just allowing yourself to come into a nice big side-to-side motion, little breath, helping kind of keep enough stability through your core so we can protect the lower back from too much excessive torquing. And just letting the arms kind of gently, just like we started, that little flap of the arms kind of touching your body. In kind of Tai Chi and Qigong, this is often a practice to help generate energy. Sometimes people even kind of swing their arms down to move the Qi, move energy through the body. And so whatever feels good for you, whatever feels right. A little side to side, good. Keep going here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. So standing up nice and tall, just checking in with your body again, noticing how is everything feeling. You know, I'm aware that just kind of my upper body feels very good, very loose, a lot of energy, openness, freedom to move, connectedness. I think those are the qualities largely that we're looking for. All right. So let's just kind of spend a few more minutes down into the legs, and then we'll wrap it up. So stretching the legs can be a little bit harder if you're standing. So a lot of the times it's easier to sit or to lie down on the ground. But a couple of things that tend to be really helpful. All right. One is just working a little bit as a crossover. So I'm just going to shift my camera down so you can see. So I want you to take your legs out nice and wide, and then you're just going to drop your body down to the ground. See if you can get your hands to maybe touch the floor. All right, even just a tiny bit is going to be helpful. And then from here, let's walk yourself over towards one leg. You can twist your toes out to the side if that feels better. And just allow your chest to come down towards your knee. Relax your head. And notice you might begin to feel a little bit of pull somewhere down in the leg, or maybe even up in the back. All right. Breathing in, breathing out. With these, we just take a static stretch and hold. It's just about breathing. Each breath is an opportunity to just let go of tension, right? To be with your body and to release. A lot of times, feelings just want to be felt. Right? Experiences just want to be experienced completely. And so what we're trying to do here is to have this experience of being in our body, let it be complete, let it be released, and let it be free. You're going to walk yourself over towards that other leg, right? You can twist the toes. And if you only get down a little bit, that's okay. You know, and find what's going to be the right angle, the right position for you. Exhale, so you can drop down, hug your leg. If it feels better for you to, you know, shift your weight in some way or come onto the floor, right? Find the position that works. Breathing in, breathing out. Right. And each exhale, I focus on, see if I can find maybe, you know, a centimeter more to expand into. Good. And then walking my way back to center. From here, what I like to do is try to twist your toes in a tiny bit, right? And this might provide a little bit more strain and torque in the knees. And then see if you can exhale and drop your hands down to the floor, drop your head down between your arms. Let as much of your weight begin to shift, right? Forward, down into your arms, your hands, finding that stretch down the backside of those hamstrings. Relax your head and neck. Any little side to side sway that feels good, go for it. Or just stay here. If this is too much and you can't touch the floor, that is okay as well. You can kind of just put your hands down here. All right, and then I'm gonna have you kind of bring your feet in a little bit closer. Our very last move is just gonna be a bit of a squat. So bending your knees, resting your arms here. All right, now this can be really tough depending on your ankle mobility, all sorts of things. Maybe this position in and of itself is hard to hold. If you can get down even lower, you can try to get down lower. I want you to try to just push your knees out to the side a little bit. Breathe in, hold this position. Breathe out, sinking into it a little bit more. Opening the legs up wide as you can. And if you're like, oh, there's no way I'm doing this, that is totally fine. I'm just gonna be here for another breath. And then begin to lift your hips, standing back up. We'll come back to center. Great. So we're gonna wrap things up. All right, and the way I like to do that is with just 5 deep belly breaths. So I'm going to take one hand, place it right below my belly button, take my other hand right on top, standing up nice and tall. Breathing in, I want you to just feel that hand inflate, rising up, and then exhaling. Hands come in. Again, another deep breath. Let it go. See if you can make each breath a little bigger, a little bit slower. And as I always like to say, breathe and smile. So thank you for joining today's stretching session. I hope you feel a little bit more open, a little bit more balanced. I hope there's some move here that you feel comfortable exploring on your own, taking with you, engineering into your day so you can take care of your body better.